What's up everyone, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today, we're talking about Noctowl. This Pokemon is actually pretty cool. It has gotten a lot more powerful with Dynamax, and it's pretty sweet. A lot of people give a lot of hate to Noctowl just because it's not incredible. It doesn't have the most insane stats, the most deep move pool, the best abilities, but it does have solid stats, solid typing, a not bad ability now, because sleeping is just like the bane of Dynamaxing, and this Pokemon gets a lot of really good Dynamax moves, as well as moves before Dynamax to make this Dynamax insane, aka Nasty Plot. And then, of course, we have Insomnia, so we can't go to sleep. So if we Dynamax, we're here to stay for the whole Dynamax until they kill us. And a lot of the time, you can just stay for a while, especially with things like Togekiss Follow Me, to just keep you alive a little bit better. And this Pokemon can actually surprise you and can do a lot of damage, actually. So let's talk about it. So normal flying typing is not bad. It provides us a couple of immunities and resistances and 3 weaknesses as well. So first off, we have 2 immunities, Ground and Ghost, which are pretty solid. Both are pretty prevalent in the meta, and it's pretty good, actually. You can switch this in against both of those. I mean, we have Dragapult and Excadrill as some of the most used Pokemon in the meta right now, and they love their Ghost and Ground type attacks. So that's pretty solid. And then we also have 2 resistances, being Grass and Bug. Grass is pretty big right now with things like Venusaur, Rotom Mow, a couple of other grass type Pokemon, and having that as a resistance is pretty solid. Next we have weaknesses, which is Electric, Ice, and Rock. Only 2 times weaknesses, no quad weaknesses, which is pretty good. And those weaknesses are actually very prevalent in the meta, and all 3 are very good and very used. But it's fine, you know, you Dynamax and then you can usually live 1 attack. Most things like super effective stab weakness attacks, they're going to be hitting most likely a 2-shot. So we have some damage calcs to talk about later in the video, but for now, this is what we got. We're running Noctowl. So let's talk about its stats for a second. So HP 100, not insane, but fine. Defense 50 and special defense 96. So all around pretty standard, bulky, except for defense. Defense is pretty low, so things like the Excadrill, Tyranitar, Pokemon like those are really going to be a big threat to this Pokemon. They're able to take you down, OHKO you most of the time without even having to, well, obviously like Dynamax, but without having to have like a weakness policy buff or anything. They can still one-shot you through your Dynamax a lot of the time, which is really unfortunate. So you have to be careful of those Pokemon, but especially, you know, we don't have to worry about too much. Things like Lapras and Gastrodon, I don't know why I said Gastrodon, Lapras, Rotoms forms that have special attacking thunder attacks like Thunderbolt and stuff. We can tank a couple of those attacks, which is really good, and even like Nasty Plot boosted, like we'll show you more in the damage calcs. And then we also have our offensive stats at special attack 86 and speed at 70. Neither of them are insane, but with Nasty Plot, special attack becomes great, and then with potentially max airstreams as well as maybe Tailwind or something, speed can be really good as well. So that's awesome. And then Insomnia, the ability, just making it so we can't go to sleep, which is very, very strong against Pokemon that don't like our Dynamax at all. That's really it for the overview. We'll go ahead and talk about the build, jump into the meat and potatoes of the video. So, as far as our build goes, we are running that ability Insomnia. Like I was saying, it's very good for when you Dynamax, and you're going to Dynamax this Pokemon most of the time that you bring it. Next, we have our item Life Orb. You can switch this out with a couple of other things. I just like Life Orb. You get the boost when you're Dynamaxed. It's a very solid damaging. It gives you that 1.3 times damage, which is just very solid in general. Is my music on still? Yeah, it is. Okay. It's just a quiet part. So yeah, Life Orb's pretty good. And then we also have Expert Belt, which gives you 1.2 times whenever you use a super effective attack. That's just another option if you don't want to take that little bit of damage that Life Orb puts on you. I still opt to use the Life Orb. I just think it's better, but you don't have to. Next, we have Weakness Policy as another option as well, making it so you don't have to always go Nasty Plot, but you don't really want to take an attack first. So we just went with Nasty Plot Follow Me as the centering of this build. And then, but yeah, you could use Weakness Policy if you want to. And then last but not least, we do have Focus Sash as well. You could go into a less bulky build and just go into Special Attack and Speed, and then use Focus Sash, but I like this build. I think this build is probably the best for Noctowl. Next, we have our actual moves themselves. So our moves are Hurricane, Hyper Beam, Moonblast, and Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot going to be giving us that +2 special attack, which is very, very good for this Pokemon, making it an insanely big threat once once you Dynamax and start putting out really big max moves, making Nasty Plot very, very good. And then we also have Hurricane, Hyper Beam, and Moonblast. Hurricane and Hyper Beam are our best special attacking stab moves. Both offer us the most amount of damage when we Dynamax, and I think a lot of the times this Pokemon won't be living through the Dynamax. You'll just be able to take 1 or 2 good knockouts, and those are going to be very strong. They both give us a lot of good speed control. Hurricane being able to give us that max airstream for our own speed, and then Hyper Beam, max strike, making our opponent's speed less and less. So a lot of good speed control in this Dynamax Pokemon, which is very good. We also have Moonblast here as our last attack on this set, just so that we can get that Misty Veil activated as well, which is really good. It's also good coverage. We also have a couple of other options as well, Air Slash being one of them if you don't want to go with Hurricane. I wouldn't blame you. Hurricane is not as good once you're non-Dynamaxed, but you're probably going to be Dynamaxed while it's there. I said that weird, Dynamaxed. But oh well. So Air Slash provides you a little bit less of a damage when you're maxed, but it also provides better accuracy and the flinch chance when you're little. I like Hurricane. I just think it's better. It's more damage. I like more damage. Then we also have Heat Wave and Psychic, 2 more coverage moves. They both provide pretty solid uses when you're Dynamaxed and when you're not Dynamaxed. And then we also have Roost as an honorable mention, just being able to heal off a little bit. Like I said, in this build, we're really focusing on just nasty plotting and then doing damage, but you can use Roost as well. Anyway, that's about it for the moves. We're going to go ahead and talk about some EVs, and obviously there are some other good moves, like it gets screens and stuff, but like none of them are super good on Noctowl, you know what I mean? Next we are going to talk about our EVs. So we have 252 into HP and 252 into special attack as well, just doing as much damage and being as bulky as possible. The leftover 4 in defense, and then also modest nature, giving us plus special attack and minus attack since we're going for special attack. This is pretty solid of a build. I think it's pretty solid. It's very basic. It's just 252, 252, 4. Very easy way of using, of making spreads for these kind of Pokemon. So as far as our synergetic Pokemon go, we have Togekiss and Whimsicott. Togekiss is the main one, being able to provide that follow me support, as well as being a bulky Pokemon that can sleep, scary Pokemon with Yawn, as well as be able to put out a little bit of damage, spread damage with Dazzling Gleam, or even Air Slash. It provides a good wall for your Nasty Plot to activate turn 1. If your opponent isn't using something like Excadrill, Tyranitar, something like that with multi-targeting attacks that would do a lot of damage to Noctowl, you have a really, really good turn 1, being able to set up Nasty Plot, and then next turn going for those Dynamax attacks. Next we have the Whimsicott, and Whimsicott really just provides a little bit of additional speed with the Tailwind as well as Fake Tears to make Noctowl do a lot of damage without having to use Nasty Plot if you don't have time for that. Also, one last thing about this Pokemon is Nasty Plot gives us Max Guard as well when we Dynamax, which is just very good in general. Anyway, that's about it for our build. We'll go ahead and talk about our speed tiers here real quick, and as you can see, there's a little Noctowl next to Noctowl to signify where Noctowl is. I just said Noctowl so many times. Anyway, so Noctowl is at 90. Pretty good. Man, Noctowl sounds weird to me now. Every time I say it, it sounds weird. Anyway, so 90 speed at Noctowl, right in the middle. Not very great, not very terrible. We do outspeed a lot of good Pokemon, things like Gothitelle, almost always, Tyranitar, almost always, Aegislash, Lapras, Jellicent, Sylveon, almost always. All of them can outspeed us with like certain investments and stuff, but there probably won't be, so you're pretty much okay to have that Noctowl. You're pretty, it makes sense to be outspeeding all those Pokemon. You can like usually think you're going to be outspeeding them. I'm trying to think of the word. You can expect to outspeed those Pokemon usually. Other things that do outspeed us, unfortunately, things like Togekiss, Milotic, Indeedee Female, Form Change Rotom, always going to be outspeeding us. All of those Pokemon always are, as that is the lowest speed they're going to usually have. Maybe Indeedee F will be a little bit less speed, having 0 IVs just because of Trick Room, but it's typically going to be still at this uninvested point, just so that when you don't have Trick Room up, it is fast-ish. It's average speed. But yeah, Noctowl sums up at about 90 on that pretty average speed. Not too great, not too bad. So that's about it for speed tiers. We'll go ahead and talk about our damage calcs. I always want to say Dynamax. I don't know why. Because I read Dynamax. Almost all of these are Dynamax Pokemon. So anyway, let's go ahead and start it off. So as you'll notice, all of these are Nasty Plot for our damage output, just because Honestly, this Pokemon is not that great without Nasty Plot, not gonna lie. But with Nasty Plot, it takes a lot of really big OHKOs and big damage in general. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. So our first one is Life Orb, Nasty Plot, Dynamaxed, Max Airstream into an Incineroar, the most used build of Incineroar, 236 HP, 244 special defense with that calm nature, or careful nature. And then so we get a guaranteed OHKO with Max Airstream. This is really, really good, actually, hitting that 100 to 119%. Guaranteed OHKOing Incineroar while also getting a speed boost. This is really, really powerful. Gives us a good matchup against Incineroar, which is awesome. Next, we have our Dynamax Nasty Plot into the, Dynamax, the Max Airstream Life Orb Nasty Plot into a Dragapult, a Dynamax Dragapult, hitting 99 to 116%, a 93% chance to OHKO. This is huge. We actually have a really, really high chance of just OHKOing Dragapult, and if it uses Life Orb, because it'll be outspeeding us, then it'll take some damage, and then we guaranteed OHKO. This is actually really, really big. Next, we have that Dynamax Life Orb Dragapult Max Wormwind into our Noctowl, hitting 234 to 277 damage. It's a lot of damage, but it's not enough to take an OHKO on our Noctowl. We live pretty easily, hitting 56 to 66%, guaranteed 2-hit KOing. This means turn 1, we can follow me with our Togekiss, activate Nasty Plot. Turn 2, Dynamax. We don't have to follow me anymore. They can attack into our guy with Wormwind, hitting 56 to 66%, as long as their partner Pokemon is not faster than us and able to take the rest of that OHKO. We're able to, or the rest of that one-turn kill, we are able to OHKO with Max Airstream into the Dragapult. This is huge. That's like insane. Next, we have our own guy, our Noctowl, Max Airstreaming with Nasty Plot and Life Orb into a Dusclops, max HP invested, max invested into defense, as most are, not special defense, and Eviolite, hitting 93 to 111%. This gives us a 62% chance to OHKO a Dusclops, a bulky Dusclops. This is also really big. And this is, of course, 2 turns, so, you know, they're going to have Trick Room set up or whatever they want to do, and that's annoying, but we're probably fine. We still have a very, very high chance of OHKOing, and if you use something like your Togekiss, then you're able to also, with Dazzling Gleam, most likely take a one-turn knockout against that Dusclops, which is very, very powerful. Next, we have Dynamax Nasty Plot, Max Lightning from a minimal investment Rotom Wash into our Noctowl, Dynamax Noctowl, hitting 77 to 91%, guaranteed 2-hit KO. This is huge. After our Nasty Plot and their Nasty Plot, we're not able to take an OHKO on them, most likely either, if it's bulky, like 252 invested, but they aren't able to take an OHKO on us with a Max Lightning, super effective Max Lightning. This is actually really big. Next, our last damage calc, and we actually have 2 for this last one, but it doesn't really matter. So the first one, it is the Tyranitar Max Rockfall, Max invested into attack, into our Noctowl. We're able to most likely live it, or actually we're most likely going to die to it, but there's still a chance. So it hits 94.2 to 110.6%, which is a 62.5 chance to OHKO. This is a pretty high chance to OHKO, and they're definitely gonna do it most of the time, but not always, which is cool. It leaves us a little hopeful. We can max Starfall into them for huge damage, or potentially an OHKO. Probably not because of Sandstream, but still a chance. And then we also have theirs for weakness policy. So if it's a weakness policy proc Tyranitar Max Rockfall, it gives us a guaranteed, or it gives them a guaranteed OHKO. Sad face. Anyway, so that's going to be it for our damage calcs. We're going to go ahead and talk about Single Spotlight real quick, and notice how lazy I was. This is actually the same exact build. You might want to change up a couple of things. I just like the fact, I think it's good. I think it's like Nasty Plot, Insomnia, Life Orb. It's most likely going to be what you use in singles as well, and that's why I just put this on here, tacked it in at the end, Single Spotlight. It is the exact same build, and I'm sorry about that, but at the same time, I think it's probably close to optimal, giving us that good range of Hurricane, Hyper Beam for stab moves, and then Nasty Plot and Moonblast for coverage. You can definitely switch out Moonblast if you want to. Nasty Plot is kind of the name of the game here, though, so we are using Nasty Plot. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this video. If you like this kind of content, put up a like and subscribe. I was going to say thumbs up, but yeah, you don't do that. I guess liking is thumbs up. But anyway, like and subscribe, it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to comment down below any kind of video ideas, if you want to see any certain Pokemon on in gameplay, or any teams to build around, or any strategies or single Pokemon that you want to see, put them down in the comments below and I'll probably get to it. So thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe, and have a great day. Stay safe. Goodbye.